Men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte, respect is not a gift freely given. It is a resource extracted. Most believe that inherent worth or inherent goodness automatically commands deference, that simply existing entitles one to acknowledgement. This is a fiction, a comforting lie propagated by those who benefit from widespread complacency. The truth is starkly different. Respect is earned through demonstration, through tangible displays of competence and unwavering self-possession. It is forged in the crucible of challenge and solidified by consistent displays of strength, resilience, and strategic acumen. To passively await respect is to surrender control, to become a supplicant in a world that rewards dominance. Those who demand respect based on perceived entitlement are swiftly relegated to the periphery, dismissed as irrelevant noise in the symphony of power. The world acknowledges strength, anticipates it, and ultimately yields to it. Show weakness, however slight, in the vulture's circle. This is not a moral judgment, but a cold observation of reality. True respect stems from perceived value. What can you offer? What problems can you solve? What fears can you allay? The answers to these questions determine your standing. Individuals are constantly assessing one another, calculating the potential benefits and risks associated with engagement. If you present yourself as a liability, a source of drama, or simply a drain on resources, respect will be withheld, replaced by thinly veiled contempt or, worse, outright dismissal. Develop a reputation for solving complex problems, for navigating treacherous situations with grace and precision, and respect will follow as surely as night follows day. Cultivate skills that are scarce and highly valued. Become indispensable, a critical asset in any endeavor. Then, and only then, will you command the attention and deference you seek. The myth of inherent respect is a tool used to pacify and control. It encourages conformity and discourages the pursuit of excellence. Those who preach this doctrine often do so to maintain their own positions of power, to stifle dissent and discourage competition. They seek to create a society of obedient followers, content with their assigned roles and unwilling to challenge the established order. To break free from this mental prison, one must reject the notion of automatic entitlement and embrace the reality of a meritocratic struggle. Every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance of influence and persuasion. Those who understand the rules of this game are far more likely to succeed than those who blindly accept the comforting lies they are fed. Respect is not a static state, but a dynamic process. It must be constantly earned and defended. Complacency is the enemy, the insidious force that erodes hard-won gains. The moment you rest on your laurels, the moment you cease to push yourself to new heights, is the moment you begin to lose ground. There are always others striving to surpass you, eager to seize your position and claim your hard-earned respect as their own. The pursuit of respect is a lifelong journey, a constant striving for excellence and a relentless defense of one's hard-won position. Never assume that respect is guaranteed, never take it for granted, and never cease to demonstrate your value to the world. This is the path to true influence and lasting power. Finally, understand the difference between respect and fear. While fear can certainly compel obedience, it is a far less sustainable and far more volatile form of control. Fear breeds resentment, and resentment eventually leads to rebellion. True respect, on the other hand, is based on genuine admiration and a recognition of inherent value. It fosters loyalty, encourages cooperation, and creates a far more stable and sustainable foundation for influence. While fear may be a useful tool in certain circumstances, it should never be the primary basis for your relationships. Strive instead to earn the respect of those around you, to become a leader who is admired and emulated, rather than feared and resented. This is the ultimate test of your competence and the true measure of your power. Seek not to be feared, but to be respected. The former is fleeting, the latter enduring. Respect is not a birthright, nor is it freely bestowed. It is earned through consistent demonstration of competence, integrity, and unwavering resolve. To expect respect without offering tangible value is a fool's errand, a delusion fostered by naive sentimentality. The world operates on a principle of exchange. You receive what you contribute, and respect is no exception. It is a currency earned through diligence, sacrifice, and the consistent pursuit of excellence. Imagine a craftsman who neglects his tools, a soldier who shirks his duty, a merchant who peddles shoddy goods. Can they reasonably expect the respect of their peers? Respect is a reflection of worth, a recognition of merit, and a testament to the effort invested. It is not demanded, it is commanded by the quality of your actions and the unwavering pursuit of your goals. The psychological roots of respect lie in the human need for order and hierarchy. We instinctively evaluate those around us, assessing their capabilities and their potential impact on our own lives. Those who demonstrate competence, who possess the skills and knowledge to navigate challenges and achieve meaningful results, naturally command our attention and respect. This is not mere admiration. It is a pragmatic recognition of their value as allies, mentors, or even rivals. In the brutal calculus of survival, respect is a form of insurance, a recognition of the power and influence that another individual wields. Disrespect, on the other hand, is a form of dismissal, a declaration of superiority, and a potentially dangerous provocation. To disrespect someone is to underestimate their capabilities and to invite retaliation. Therefore, true mastery of power dynamics requires a keen understanding of the subtle signals of respect and disrespect, and the ability to both earn and withhold them strategically. Consider the animal kingdom, where dominance hierarchies are established through displays of strength, skill, and unwavering determination. The alpha male, or the leader of the pack, is not simply the largest or the most aggressive. He is the one who consistently demonstrates his ability to protect the group, to secure resources, and to maintain order. His position is not granted by some arbitrary authority. It is earned through a constant series of challenges and demonstrations of competence. The same principle applies to human societies, though the markers of dominance are often more subtle and complex. A leader who inspires confidence, who possesses the vision to guide others towards a common goal, and who demonstrates the unwavering resolve to overcome obstacles will naturally command the respect of his followers. Conversely, a leader who is weak, indecisive, or lacking in integrity will quickly lose the respect of those he is meant to lead, and his authority will inevitably crumble. Respect is not a static entity. It is a dynamic and ever-shifting force that must be constantly cultivated and defended. The moment you become complacent, the moment you begin to take respect for granted, is the moment you become vulnerable to those who seek to usurp your position. There are always others striving to surpass you, eager to demonstrate their own competence and to claim the respect that you have worked so hard to earn. To maintain your position, you must constantly strive to improve, to expand your knowledge and skills, and to demonstrate your unwavering commitment to excellence. This is not a matter of ego or vanity. It is a matter of survival. In a competitive world, respect is a vital asset, a source of influence and power that can be used to achieve your goals and to protect your interests. Neglect it at your peril. Understand that respect is often a delayed reward. The work you put in today may not be immediately recognized, but over time, the cumulative effect of your efforts will become undeniable. Those who consistently demonstrate competence, integrity, and unwavering resolve will eventually earn the respect of their peers, regardless of their initial circumstances or their perceived limitations. The key is to remain steadfast in your pursuit of excellence, to never compromise your principles, and to consistently demonstrate your value to the world. The respect will follow, as surely as the night follows the day. Do not seek instant gratification. Focus instead on building a solid foundation of competence and integrity, and the rewards will eventually come. There is a common misconception that respect is synonymous with popularity or approval. This is a dangerous delusion. True respect is not about being liked. It is about being valued for your competence, your integrity, and your unwavering commitment to your principles. In fact, pursuing popularity at the expense of respect is a recipe for disaster. Those who prioritize being liked above all else will often compromise their values, make empty promises, and ultimately lose the respect of everyone, including themselves. True leaders are not afraid to make unpopular decisions, to stand up for what they believe in, and to challenge the status quo. They understand that respect is earned through courage, conviction, and a willingness to sacrifice short-term popularity for long-term integrity. Therefore, do not seek to be liked, seek to be respected. The former is fleeting and often superficial. The latter is enduring and deeply meaningful. Consider the case of a surgeon who must perform a life-saving operation. He may not be popular with his patient, who is understandably anxious and fearful. He may have to make difficult decisions that cause pain and discomfort. But if he is competent, skilled, and dedicated to his craft, he will earn the respect of his patient, regardless of the immediate circumstances. The same principle applies to all areas of life. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and anyone who seeks to achieve meaningful results must be willing to make tough choices, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to stand up for what they believe in, even when it is unpopular. This is the path to true respect, the kind of respect that is earned through courage, conviction, and unwavering commitment to excellence. Finally, remember that respect is not a one-way street. To earn the respect of others, you must also demonstrate respect for them. This does not mean blindly agreeing with everything they say or do. It means treating them with dignity, recognizing their inherent worth as human beings, and valuing their contributions, even when you disagree with them. Respectful communication, active listening, and a genuine willingness to understand different perspectives are essential for building strong relationships and fostering a culture of mutual respect. Those who are arrogant, dismissive, or condescending will quickly alienate others and undermine their own credibility. True leaders understand that respect is a reciprocal process, and they strive to create an environment where everyone feels valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their best work. Consider the example of a seasoned negotiator entering a high-stakes business deal. He does not seek to be liked, nor does he attempt to charm his opponents. His presence is calm, but undeniably potent. He understands that sentimentality has no place at the bargaining table. Only calculated strategy and unwavering resolve can yield the desired outcome. He arrives prepared, possessing an exhaustive understanding of the market, the financial landscape, and the weaknesses of his adversaries. He will not be intimidated by displays of aggression or swayed by appeals to emotion. He will listen intently, observe keenly, and exploit every advantage to secure the most favorable terms. He is not concerned with being perceived as nice or agreeable. He is focused solely on achieving victory, even if it means inflicting pain and discomfort on the other parties involved. His reputation precedes him. He is known as a formidable force, a shrewd operator who leaves no stone unturned in his pursuit of success. This reputation is not built on empty promises or false pretenses. It is built on a track record of decisive action, strategic brilliance, and an unyielding commitment to his objectives. He understands that respect in this arena is not a gift freely given. It is a prize hard won, earned through ruthless efficiency and a willingness to make the difficult choices that others shy away from. He is not afraid to be disliked, even feared, because he knows that in the cutthroat world of business, respect is often born of apprehension. His counterparties may resent his tactics, but they cannot deny his competence. They may criticize his methods, but they must acknowledge his results. And ultimately, it is his results that command their respect, even if it is grudgingly given. He understands that weakness invites exploitation, while strength demands deference. He projects an aura of quiet confidence, knowing that his every word and action will be scrutinized. He will not hesitate to use leverage to his advantage, to expose vulnerabilities, and to exert pressure when necessary. He is a master of psychological warfare, subtly manipulating the dynamics of the negotiation to maintain control. He understands that the appearance of weakness is a fatal flaw, and he will go to great lengths to conceal any vulnerabilities he may possess. He cultivates an image of invincibility, knowing that perception is often more powerful than reality. This does not mean he is reckless or impulsive. On the contrary, he is meticulous and deliberate, carefully calculating every move and anticipating every possible outcome. He is a chess player, several steps ahead of his opponents, always seeking to gain a strategic advantage. He understands that the negotiation is not merely a transaction. It is a battle of wills, a test of strength, and a contest of intellect. And he is determined to emerge victorious, not for the sake of ego or personal gain, but for the sake of his organization, his shareholders, and his own sense of professional pride. He is a pragmatist, driven by a relentless pursuit of excellence, and he will not allow sentimentality or moral qualms to stand in his way. He recognizes that the business world is a Darwinian landscape, where only the strongest survive, and he is committed to ensuring that he and his organization not only survive but thrive. This requires a certain degree of ruthlessness, a willingness to make unpopular decisions, and an unwavering focus on the bottom line. He understands that respect is not about being liked. It is about being effective, about delivering results, and about commanding the deference that comes with success. And he will not apologize for his ambition or his methods, because he knows that in the long run, it is competence, not charisma, that truly earns the respect of others. Even if he is disliked, his competence will be undeniable, and that is enough. His focus remains laser-locked on the objective, ignoring the emotional noise and the petty distractions that often derail less disciplined negotiators. He understands the power of silence, the ability to wait patiently for the opportune moment to strike. He is a master of timing, knowing when to press his advantage and when to concede ground strategically. He avoids emotional outbursts, maintaining a calm and composed demeanor even under intense pressure. He understands that anger is a sign of weakness, and he will not allow his emotions to cloud his judgment. He is a skilled listener, carefully analyzing the words and body language of his opponents to detect deception or vulnerability. He is adept at reading people, at understanding their motivations and their fears. He uses this knowledge to his advantage, subtly manipulating the dynamics of the negotiation to achieve his desired outcome. He is a master of persuasion, able to articulate his arguments with clarity and conviction. He is not afraid to challenge conventional wisdom or to question assumptions. He is a critical thinker, able to analyze complex problems and develop innovative solutions. And he is a skilled communicator, able to convey his ideas effectively to a wide range of audiences. His communication style is direct and concise, avoiding jargon and ambiguity. He is a man of his word, and he expects the same from others. He values integrity and honesty, but he also understands that the business world is often characterized by deception and manipulation. He is prepared to defend himself against such tactics, and he will not hesitate to use them himself if necessary. He is a realist, with a clear-eyed understanding of the world and its imperfections. He does not subscribe to naive notions of fairness or justice. He understands that power dynamics play a significant role in shaping outcomes, and he is determined to wield that power effectively. This understanding does not necessarily translate into malevolence. Instead, it enables him to navigate complex situations with greater clarity and purpose. He recognizes the inherent contradictions within human nature, the capacity for both great good and profound evil, and he factors this into his calculations. He is wary of sentimentality, understanding that it can often lead to poor judgment and disastrous outcomes. He prioritizes logic and reason above all else, striving to make decisions based on objective data and rational analysis. The pursuit of respect, when approached as a direct transaction, is a fool's errand. To demand respect is to reveal a fundamental insecurity, an admission of its absence. This act immediately diminishes one's standing, Imagine a king who must constantly remind his subjects of his authority. His reign is already crumbling. True authority is self-evident, radiating outward without the need for explicit pronouncements. The weak seek validation from external sources, constantly monitoring the reactions of others, adjusting their behavior to conform to perceived expectations. This chameleon-like existence, driven by the need for approval, prevents the development of a stable, inner core. They become a mirror, reflecting the desires and opinions of those around them, lacking the internal fortitude to forge their own path. This perpetual seeking leaves them vulnerable to manipulation, easily swayed by flattery or criticism. They are puppets dancing to the strings of social approval, forever trapped in a cycle of seeking external validation. The individual who prioritizes being liked above being respected will invariably find themselves exploited. Their eagerness to please becomes a weapon in the hands of the unscrupulous, who will leverage this desire for their own gain. The fear of causing offense paralyzes them, preventing them from asserting their needs or defending their boundaries. They become doormats, inviting others to walk all over them. This subservient posture reinforces a negative feedback loop, further eroding their self-esteem and perpetuating the cycle of disrespect. The absence of clear boundaries creates a vacuum that others will readily fill, often with demands and expectations that are unreasonable or exploitative. To counteract this, a person must develop a strong sense of self-worth that does not depend on external validation. Furthermore, the misguided belief that respect is earned through passive compliance or unwavering agreement is a common pitfall. The sycophant, eager to please, sacrifices their own integrity in pursuit of favor, offering empty praise and uncritical support. While such behavior may provide temporary gains, it ultimately breeds contempt. True respect is earned through competence, courage, and conviction, not through subservience. The individual who consistently agrees with everything, who never challenges the status quo, is perceived as lacking independent thought and moral courage. Their opinions become worthless, their presence insignificant. They are seen as mere instruments, devoid of their own agency, easily manipulated to serve the agendas of others. This lack of authenticity undermines their credibility, rendering them incapable of commanding genuine respect. To gain real authority, one must be willing to express dissenting opinions, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to stand up for their beliefs, even in the face of opposition. This requires intellectual honesty and a willingness to engage in constructive debate. It demonstrates a commitment to truth and a refusal to be swayed by popular opinion. This is not to advocate for gratuitous contrarianism, but rather for the courage to think critically and to express one's own reasoned judgment. A person must show that they are able to form their own opinions, independently of external influences. The error of believing that respect can be bought or bartered is equally dangerous. Attempts to purchase respect through lavish displays of wealth or generosity are transparent and ultimately self-defeating. While material possessions may attract temporary attention or superficial admiration, they do not engender genuine respect. True respect is earned through character, integrity, and the consistent demonstration of virtuous qualities. The individual who flaunts their wealth in an attempt to impress others is often perceived as insecure and lacking in substance. Their ostentatious displays are seen as a desperate attempt to compensate for inner deficiencies. This behavior repels those who value genuine connection and authenticity, attracting instead those who are motivated by self-interest and opportunism. Similarly, attempts to manipulate others through acts of generosity or quid pro quo arrangements are transparent and ultimately undermine trust. While offering assistance to others is a virtue, doing so with the expectation of reciprocation is a form of subtle coercion. It creates a power imbalance that breeds resentment rather than respect. Genuine generosity is selfless and unconditional, motivated by a genuine desire to help others without expecting anything in return. It is this spirit of altruism that earns the respect and admiration of others. One must show that they are capable of acting out of genuine kindness, without ulterior motives. Furthermore, the naive assumption that respect is automatically granted based on status or position is a dangerous illusion. While titles and positions of authority may command a degree of deference, they do not guarantee genuine respect. True respect must be earned through demonstrated competence, integrity, and leadership. The incompetent leader who relies solely on their position to command obedience will eventually find their authority undermined. Their subordinates will resent their lack of expertise and their inability to provide effective guidance. Their decisions will be questioned, their directives ignored. Ultimately, their authority will crumble, leaving them isolated and ineffective. Similarly, the individual who abuses their power or exploits their position for personal gain will quickly lose the respect of those around them. Their actions will be perceived as self-serving and unethical, eroding their credibility and undermining their influence. To command true respect, one must embody the qualities of a servant leader, prioritizing the needs of their team and acting with integrity and fairness. They must demonstrate competence in their field, providing effective guidance and support. They must earn the trust of their subordinates through consistent demonstration of virtuous character. A person must show that they are worthy of the position they hold, not simply entitled to it. The acquisition of respect is not a passive process of waiting, but an active campaign requiring careful planning and execution. Consider the master strategist on the battlefield. He does not demand respect from his troops simply by virtue of his rank. He earns it through meticulous planning, courageous leadership, and unwavering commitment to their well-being. His soldiers respect him not because they are ordered to, but because they trust his judgment and believe in his ability to lead them to victory. Similarly, in the arena of business, the successful entrepreneur does not expect respect from their employees simply because they are the boss. They cultivate it by fostering a culture of innovation, empowering their team to take ownership, and consistently demonstrating a commitment to their success. Their employees respect them not because they fear their authority, but because they admire their vision and appreciate their support. The cultivation of respect requires a deep understanding of human psychology. People are not easily fooled by empty gestures or superficial displays of authority. They are drawn to those who possess genuine competence, unwavering integrity, and a sincere concern for the well-being of others. To earn their respect, one must consistently demonstrate these qualities through their actions and interactions. This is not to suggest that one should become a people pleaser, sacrificing their own principles in an attempt to win the approval of others. On the contrary, true respect is often earned by those who are willing to stand their ground, even in the face of opposition. However, they must do so with respect and dignity, avoiding personal attacks and focusing on the merits of their argument. A person must demonstrate that they are willing to fight for what they believe in, but also that they are willing to listen to opposing viewpoints and consider alternative perspectives. Remember, respect is a currency that must be continuously earned and maintained. It is not a one-time transaction, but an ongoing investment. One must consistently strive to improve their competence, uphold their integrity, and demonstrate their concern for the well-being of others. The moment one becomes complacent or begins to take respect for granted, it will begin to erode. The pursuit of respect is a lifelong journey, a constant process of self-improvement and refinement. It requires patience, discipline, and a deep understanding of human nature. But the rewards are well worth the effort. For true respect is not simply a matter of vanity or ego, but a fundamental requirement for effective leadership, meaningful relationships, and lasting influence. Therefore, cultivate respect as you would a garden. Tend to it diligently, nurturing its growth with careful attention and unwavering commitment. Protect it from the weeds of arrogance, complacency, and dishonesty. For in the end, the respect that you earn will be the measure of your true worth. Throughout history, empires have risen and fallen not solely on the basis of brute force, but on their capacity to command the respect, or at least the begrudging compliance, of those they sought to govern. Consider the Roman Empire, whose legions were undeniably formidable, yet their dominion extended far beyond the reach of their swords. Their legal system, their infrastructure, their cultural influence, all contributed to a sense of order and stability that earned them a degree of respect, even from conquered peoples. This respect, in turn, facilitated trade, governance, and the assimilation of new territories, allowing the empire to flourish for centuries. But when corruption festered, when emperors became detached from the needs of their people, and when the rule of law was subverted by personal ambition, respect waned, and the empire began its long, agonizing decline. External enemies, once held at bay by Roman might and prestige, now saw an opportunity to exploit the empire's internal weaknesses, and the once mighty legions found themselves struggling to defend crumbling borders. The lesson here is clear. Military strength alone is not enough to guarantee lasting power. Respect, earned through just governance, competent leadership, and a commitment to the well-being of the governed, is the bedrock upon which empires are built and sustained. Conversely, the absence of respect breeds resentment, rebellion, and ultimately collapse. Similarly, in the context of warfare, victory is not always determined by superior firepower or tactical brilliance. Often, it is the army that commands the respect of its own soldiers, its allies, and even its enemies that emerges triumphant. An army led by officers who inspire confidence, who demonstrate competence in planning and execution, and who prioritize the welfare of their troops, is far more likely to achieve its objectives than an army plagued by internal dissent and mistrust. Think of the Spartan warriors, whose legendary discipline and unwavering loyalty to one another instilled a sense of respect and fear in their adversaries. Their battlefield prowess was not simply a result of physical strength and martial skill, but also of a shared ethos that valued honor, courage, and self-sacrifice. This ethos earned them the respect of their peers and the grudging admiration of their enemies, allowing them to punch far above their weight in the ancient world. On the other hand, armies that are perceived as brutal, undisciplined, or lacking in moral integrity often find themselves facing not only external enemies, but also internal resistance and a loss of morale. The atrocities committed by such armies can turn potential allies into bitter enemies, and the lack of respect for the local population can undermine their ability to secure lasting control. The Vietnam War provides a stark example of this phenomenon. Despite possessing overwhelming military superiority, the United States forces struggled to achieve their objectives in the face of a determined and resourceful enemy, who enjoyed the support of a significant portion of the Vietnamese population. The perception that the U.S. was an occupying force, coupled with instances of civilian casualties and cultural insensitivity, eroded the respect that might have otherwise been gained, ultimately contributing to the war's outcome. Thus, the historical record is replete with examples of empires and armies that have risen and fallen based on their ability to command respect. Whether through just governance, competent leadership, or moral integrity, the cultivation of respect is essential for achieving lasting power and influence. And conversely, the failure to earn and maintain respect can lead to internal discord, external opposition, and ultimately, the demise of even the most formidable entities. The pursuit of respect, therefore, is not merely a matter of personal vanity, but a fundamental requirement for success in any endeavor, whether it be building an empire or winning a war. It is a strategic imperative that demands careful attention, unwavering commitment, and a deep understanding of human nature. The psychology underpinning the acquisition of respect is complex, involving a delicate interplay of perceived competence, demonstrated integrity, and the projection of unwavering confidence. Respect is not a static attribute, bestowed once and for all. It is a dynamic assessment, constantly revised based on observed behavior and consistency with stated values. The human mind is perpetually evaluating others, consciously and subconsciously, weighing their actions against an internal framework of expectations and societal norms. When an individual consistently demonstrates mastery in their chosen field, whether it be strategic thinking, practical skills, or interpersonal communication, they begin to accumulate respect based on their perceived competence. This competence, however, must be coupled with integrity. A brilliant strategist who is also known to be deceitful or manipulative may inspire a degree of fear or grudging admiration, but they will rarely command genuine respect. Integrity, in this context, refers to the alignment between words and deeds, a commitment to ethical principles even when faced with adversity. This consistency fosters trust, a critical component in the formation of respect. Beyond competence and integrity lies the projection of unwavering confidence. This is not mere arrogance or boastfulness, but a quiet assurance that stems from a deep belief in one's own capabilities and values. Confident individuals are more likely to take risks, to stand up for their beliefs, and to inspire others to follow their lead. This aura of self-assurance can be particularly influential in situations of uncertainty or crisis, where people are looking for strong leadership and a clear sense of direction. However, it is crucial to recognize that confidence without competence or integrity can quickly devolve into recklessness or tyranny, undermining any initial respect that may have been present. The human mind is acutely sensitive to authenticity, and any perceived discrepancy between outward presentation and inner character will erode trust and ultimately diminish respect. Moreover, the psychology of respect is deeply intertwined with the concept of social dominance. In many social hierarchies, individuals who occupy positions of power or influence are often granted a degree of deference or respect, simply by virtue of their status. This is not necessarily genuine respect, but rather a form of compliance or strategic appeasement. True respect, however, is earned through actions and character, regardless of social standing. An individual who demonstrates courage in the face of adversity, or who advocates for the vulnerable and marginalized, can command respect even from those who hold positions of greater power or privilege. Furthermore, the psychology of respect is influenced by cultural norms and values. What is considered respectful behavior in one culture may be perceived as offensive or inappropriate in another. Therefore, it is essential to develop a deep understanding of the cultural context in which one is operating, and to adapt one's behavior accordingly. This requires a willingness to learn, to listen, and to empathize with others, even when their perspectives differ from one's own. The ability to navigate cultural differences with sensitivity and respect is a hallmark of a truly sophisticated and influential individual. Finally, it is important to recognize that the psychology of respect is not solely about external validation. It is also about self-respect, the internal sense of worthiness and dignity that stems from living in accordance with one's values. Individuals who lack self-respect are often more susceptible to manipulation and exploitation, and they may struggle to command respect from others. Cultivating self-respect requires a commitment to personal growth, ethical conduct, and the pursuit of meaningful goals. It is the foundation upon which genuine respect from others can be built. Therefore, the pursuit of respect is not merely a strategic endeavor, but a fundamental aspect of human development and social interaction. It requires a deep understanding of human nature, a commitment to ethical principles, and a willingness to adapt and learn. It is a lifelong journey that ultimately leads to greater influence, fulfillment, and a more meaningful existence. The pursuit of respect transcends simple social maneuvering. It delves into the core of human psychology and the subtle dynamics of power. It is a constant calibration of your actions, your words, and your very presence, assessed and judged by those around you. Respect, in its truest form, is not demanded. It is earned through consistent demonstration of competence, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to your principles. Observe the behavior of those who command respect effortlessly. They do not seek validation. They embody it. They are decisive, articulate, and possess an aura of quiet confidence that inspires trust and admiration. Their actions align seamlessly with their words, forging a reputation for reliability and authenticity. They understand the importance of boundaries, both their own and those of others, and they navigate social interactions with a delicate balance of assertiveness and empathy. They are not easily swayed by the opinions of others, but they are always willing to listen and consider different perspectives. Their value system is unshakable, a beacon guiding them through the complexities of human interaction. This inner compass allows them to make difficult decisions with clarity and conviction, even when faced with opposition or criticism. This inner strength is not cultivated overnight. It is the result of years of self-reflection, personal growth, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. It requires a willingness to confront one's own weaknesses and insecurities, and to work tirelessly to overcome them. It demands a constant striving for improvement, a commitment to learning and expanding one's knowledge, and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. The true measure of respect is not the accolades you receive, but the impact you have on the world around you. Do you leave a trail of positivity and progress, or do you sow seeds of discord and resentment? Your actions speak louder than any words, and they will ultimately determine the legacy you leave behind. Cultivating respect requires more than just mastering social skills. It necessitates a deep understanding of human motivation and the subtle nuances of power dynamics. It means recognizing that everyone has their own agenda, their own insecurities, and their own aspirations. It means being able to anticipate their reactions, to understand their motivations, and to influence their behavior in a way that benefits both yourself and the greater good. This requires a high level of emotional intelligence, the ability to perceive, understand, and manage your own emotions and the emotions of others. It also requires a willingness to engage in active listening, to truly hear what others are saying, both verbally and non-verbally, and to respond in a way that demonstrates empathy and understanding. Respect is a currency that must be constantly replenished. It is not enough to earn it once. You must continue to demonstrate your worthiness through consistent behavior and unwavering commitment. The moment you become complacent, the moment you take your reputation for granted, is the moment you begin to lose the respect of others. This is a constant vigilance